Ciao amici e benvenuti nella Peso sulla Luna. Hello friends, if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you know from my introduction that this is my series in which I use Tarot de Marseille or antique Italian decks to answer a question that comes from my larger weekly Smith-Waite Coleman, Rider-Waite Smith-based tarot spread, which I've already done. And this week's tarot spread I've titled Becoming. And it was a very deep message and deep dive into some very profound ideas and questions this week particularly. So if you'd like to see that video, and I highly recommend it because I just did it. But if you would like to see that, I will put a card up here so that you can click on that and hop on over there and watch that before coming back to watch this again. Because I think having that coming into this will be very helpful. But that spread was about becoming as we live the intentional life. And all of my videos are basically about living an intentional life. And so from that larger spread, I pulled one question. The reason I pulled the question I have pulled is because in the answer to a question about freedom, flexibility, the Four of Pentacles showed up. Now, Four of Pentacles and the Four of Coins are different cards to me. I read Rider-Waite Smith and Tarot de Marseille and antique Italian decks differently. The Four of Pentacles, for me, is a little bit less positive, a little bit more shadowed, even upright, a little bit more shadowed than the Four of Coins in Tarot de Marseille or antique Italian deck. That's just me, that's the way I read. And so, having the Four of Pentacles of sometimes greedy miserliness and also conservation show up as a response to a question about freedom or flexibility was a little bit of a mind twister for me. So the question I pulled was this: as I am becoming who I will be, remember the spread was about becoming, as I am becoming who I will be, how can I be more flexible with my resources? How can I be more flexible with my resources as I am becoming who I will be? Because that idea of the resources and conservation as it balances with flexibility was a little of a push me, pull you kind of experience for me. So I wanted to dive into this, and I've got 3 cards all pulled out, and I will show you the question in written form. I will show you the cards, and then we'll dive into them together. Let's dive in together. So you just noticed that those are not Tarot de Marseille. And you probably already had a clue that this would not be a French deck, but rather an Italian deck from my introduction. And these cards, they're gorgeous, aren't they? They are from this deck. Yeah? What is this deck? This is I Naibi di Giovanni Vacchetta. And this is a deck produced by Il Meneghello in Italy. And they produce gorgeous, gorgeous cards. Unfortunately, the original owner of the shop and the creator has passed away, but his daughter, I believe, is still printing cards and running the shop, and they're just as gorgeous as they have always been. And this is a wonderful deck. This deck is originally from 1860, I believe, but now I want to make sure I'm not lying to you. Let me look at the title card in the bottom. This is from 1893. So, wonderful deck. Just in case you're curious, I got the thing open. This is what the backs of the cards look like. This is the front of one of the cards. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. And it shuffles better than you might expect. It's on wonderful cardstock. The corners are sharp, but if you get used to that, of the Il Meneghello decks, this is one of the easier to shuffle for me. So, lovely, lovely deck. Highly recommend it. Oh, I will put a link below if you're interested in purchasing the deck. I don't get any money if you use the link. It's just there for your convenience. So, Il Meneghello, that was the deck that we just saw, and we had 3 cards pulled for that question. The first card was the 4 of Swords, the next was the 2 of Cups, and the next was the 5 of Cups. Interesting cards, considering it's about resources, and I would have expected coins to show up, right? But we had air and water, we had mind and heart show up as an answer to how I can be more flexible with my resources as I become who I'm going to be. And this is an interesting flow. We went from a 4 to a 2 to a 5. So there's a little bit of a progression here. We start with a 4, a very mental response to a very physical question. 4 of Swords. Taking caution. Conservation. Now, this is not so much resource conservation as conservation, the idea of conservation. Analysis, systematic thinking, organized and stable mind, yeah? It's a mind that is organized, able to analyze things, to compare things, a very rational, methodical, mental thinking mind. So I think the first response to the question is, don't go crazy. When we want to be more flexible with our resources as we become who we want to become, as we become more flexible, we don't want to be foolhardy. This card is here to remind us, okay, be flexible, but think about it. Think about it. We want to be rational. We want to be cautious in our flexibility. Not fearful. It's not saying, be careful, you're going to be in trouble, you're going to lose all your money. It's not saying that. It's just saying, be deliberate. Be careful. To conserve what we have. Think about it. And this is a card of being solidly positioned and mentally, intellectually mature. Have a mature response to how we're going to flow with our resources. Practical mind. Yeah? The 4 of Swords is a practical mind. Acting and working usefully in the universe, but having a practical attitude about what we're going to do with our resources, being flexible. And allowing for some conservativeness, allowing for some conservation of what we have. It's not saying, let all the bank doors open up and start raining cash, right? That's not what this is saying. It's saying, be clear, be rational. Take care of what needs to be taken care of and be more flexible with the cream, I think. And so we go into the next card, which is the 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups, we go from the Ace of Cups, which is the desire, the beginning of an emotional experience, the desire for an emotional experience, the desire for a relationship perhaps, into the 2, which is not the beginning of anything yet. Well, it is the beginning, but it's that first beginning where nothing has really started yet. That's in the 3. But the 2 is the beginning of a relationship where things are, I see me, I see you, I feel a relationship. It's that beginning. Not running into each other's arms and kissing each other yet, or whatever the relationship is. A new acquaintance, perhaps. You're not already deep, close friends, a new acquaintance that looks intriguing or feels intriguing. It could also be self-development. Yeah, it's I and I in a relationship. So the Two of Cups, it's a little bit reserved. It's not the free-flowing emotion of a 3 or even a 5, but it's a little bit reserved. It's just the beginning. It's not mature. It's not developed. It's the beginnings of something. It's a recognition of something being there. So we go from our stability, having a clear, rational idea of our resources and how I'm going to do things, figuring it out, saving what needs to be saved, and figuring out a way, or figuring out what I can be more flexible with. And then beginning to that feeling of, okay, so now I've done that. Now what is pulling me? What is drawing me? What is moving me emotionally? Because this flexibility, I think, is going to be a watery experience. It's going to be a cups experience, a vessels experience. Now we see the grapes, the vessels in this cup have their caps on them, right? They're closed up. They're not open and freely flowing, but they're there together in space. And there's relationship. They're on the same table. They're in the same area. And it's just the beginning of that relationship. So we've gone again from this Four of Swords, which you notice there was a shield, the swords, we had the helmet hanging from the gauntlet, the armored glove. A very stable, strong, a little bit defensive looking image. Conservation, not fighting, but conservation. We're moving into this beginning relationship of the Two of Cups. And then we move right into the 5, not the 10, but the 5. A breakthrough. Beyond the 3, the 5. And in this card you saw that the cups, the lids of 3 of the vessels have been opened. We got the 2 capped vessels on the bottom, but they have spouts now, right? Liquid can be poured out of those 2. And above, their caps are off, and the liquid inside, probably oil, is being used. It's burning. There's a flame. Now the passion is already, the emotional passion, not the fire passion of the wands, but the emotional desire, the passion, the liquid passion of the cups is already inflamed. Exploring emotions, yeah? Emotional transitions. I've gone from this, okay, here I see you, to I'm beginning to explore what this is, what this relationship is. It could be becoming the center of a group. That can work sometimes, yeah, the center of an emotional quadrant. It could be relationships with many people, not just one other. It could be new feelings. Yeah, the 4 is a stable. I've got my family. I've got it all taken care of. This is comfortable and it's stable. Then the 5th comes in. It's something new, a new feeling. What is this? The heart opens to something that could be good for ourselves and those around us, especially in the upright position. So I've gone from that, okay, I see what I want to do, to this, okay, let's see what's here. Let's really get into it. Let's dive into this emotional thing that I am feeling. Yeah, and I'm willing to transition from my stability into something a little bit more fluid, a little bit more open, more connected. I'm willing to set flame to my oil, to use that oil. I'm not willing to set a bonfire with it. I'm not going to be stupid. But I'll set aflame my lamps. I'll brighten up. And I'll be in relationship with one other or maybe many others. And that's how I could be more flexible with my resources, right? I get my stable position, yeah? I've got I know what I want to use. I know what I can be flexible with. It's a mental exercise. It's a mental construct of this is what I'm going to save and this is what I'm going to be flexible with. So first, get a sense, understand what you have and what you can be liberal with. And then start to feel it. Then we move into the cups. Yeah, start to feel, where can I move my resources? Who do I want to share my resources with? Who's out there? I can begin to feel that. I feel that attraction and the desire to interact. And then I open up even more. I've still got my base. Because I've got this all arranged, I can be more flexible, more open. I could set fire to some of my vessels and allow some vessels to be ready to pour. Not spilling it all over the place, but very rationally, very sensibly. Being willing to be flexible with what I have because I'm open emotionally to interaction, to exploring interactions. And it's with those people that I want to interact with those groups that I want to interact with, that I want to also be more flexible with my resources, which could be money, it could be time, it could be other resources as well. So this overall spread, I think, in answer to the question of how can I be more flexible with my resources, don't be stupid. Think about it first. Think about it first, get it all arranged so you don't go crazy, and then discover where the cream is, and then start feeling your way with it. Then it becomes an emotional thing of looking where the other is, and then starting to explore that relationship and other relationships. And that's where the money and how the money or the other resources can flow flexibly. Does that make sense? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below if that makes sense. It makes sense to me. I'm not sure if I'm really explaining it as clearly as I'm feeling it. Because it's a water card, right? So let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button if you're still here so that more eyes get drawn to the channel. And it helps the channel, it really does. Hit the subscribe button and click the alarm bell so you get notifications of when I upload videos. There's a new video coming up pretty quickly. It's an interview. I have never done an interview here on this channel before, and it's going to be a good one. So I recommend you get yourself ready to get notifications of when I upload that video. Also, share this around with anybody who you think might be interested in exploring Tarot de Marseille or antique Italian decks, or want to explore that with me, and comment below. I would love to hear from you. If you're interested in a reading from me in Tarot de Marseille or in Italian decks or in Rider-Waite-Smith decks or anything, I'll have my Instagram link below so you can hop over there and send me a direct message there. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't give private direct messages, doesn't allow us to send private direct messages. Instagram, you can contact me. So go over there or find me on Facebook and we'll get a reading scheduled for you, whatever you want. And friends, now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.